Six Flags Fiesta, Texas is one of my favorite Six Flags parks. Heck, it's one of my favorite amusement parks, period. This place is sick, and it does not resemble most Six Flags properties. Me personally, there's no one Six Flags park I've been to that I dislike because they always end up with more pros than cons. However, there have been things in the past that have made me feel uneasy, like slower operations, below average cleanliness, mediocre food offerings, and large amounts of advertisements. At Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, virtually every single one of these issues is improved upon, which is ultimately why I think this is the best run amusement park in the entire chain. This is my official review video for the place where I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. To start, you can find this park right outside of San Antonio, and it's really the signature amusement park of southern Texas. You'll find 11 roller coasters here, plenty of great flat rides, and one of the most beautiful settings for a park ever. Six Flags Fiesta, Texas was built on the inside of a quarry wall, and some attractions here take advantage of it. It's amazing to see large waterfalls flowing off the face of a cliff at a theme park of all places. Aside from that, the architecture and general appearance of the park is absolutely gorgeous. Like initial impressions, park appearance is amazing. It's easily the most beautiful of all the Six Flags parks, right up there with Six Flags Mexico. Then you take into account the rides, and this place is no joke. I already mentioned their coaster count of 11, but let's get more specific. Six Flags Fiesta, Texas is one of 2 amusement parks out there with 2 roller coasters by the world-renowned manufacturer Rocky Mountain Construction. The first, and also the best ride in the park, is Iron Rattler. This is a masterpiece of a coaster, from the initial drop, the zero-G rail, and especially the quarry wall interaction. Iron Rattler is probably one of the best examples of a terrain coaster ever because at the end of the ride you dive all the way back towards the ground, giving so much airtime, it's actually just insane. Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster is the prototype RMC Raptor layout, or single rail coaster if you will. It's an absolutely psychotic ride because it throws you around and shows no mercy throughout the entire layout. I've never felt so close to dying on a coaster until I rode Wonder Woman. It is cartoonishly whippy, but I absolutely love it because the airtime and pacing are immaculate and some of the best in the world. The next best coaster is Superman Krypton Coaster. This is by a long shot the best floorless coaster ever built by Bolliger and Mabillard. It has great interactions with the quarry wall, it runs extremely intense, the layout is great, and the mid-course brake run barely ever slows you down. This entire top 3 is so unreal and so diverse, but recently the park debuted another new coaster for their 30th anniversary. Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger was a bold investment for this park because it marks the first partnership project with B&M in an entire decade. This dive coaster holds the record for steepest dive coaster in the world at 95 degrees, which is very impressive. I haven't had the chance to ride this coaster yet, but I have done all the other dive coasters in North America, and I always enjoy them for what they are. Plus, I hear this one has great theming and a pre-show, which again is so unlike other Six Flags parks. The third and final B&M in the park is Goliath, which is an exact clone of the Batman the Ride coasters that can be found across the Six Flags chain. This one has a weird name because it doesn't really reflect the layout or size of the coaster, but nonetheless, these are always very good intense inverted coasters. Poltergeist is a Premier Rides launch spaghetti bowl coaster that has gone through an extensive makeover since I rode it in 2020. Now, it sports a fresh green color scheme and is themed immaculately well. As is, I thought this was a fun layout, but now that they've gone all in on the overall ride experience, I'm sure it's a great supporting attraction for the park. The only other original ride here is Roadrunner Express, which is probably one of the coolest mine trains ever built. It opened in 1997, making it, I believe, the last mine train aerodynamics ever built. But it's good to see they went out in a bang. The large drops and quarry wall elements make this a really good family roller coaster. Like most other Six Flags parks, you can also find an SNS 40 free spin called Batman and a Pandemonium clone for those of you who love disorienting spinning rides. There's also a classic Vekoma boomerang that actually runs a whole lot better than most of the others, and a kids coaster to really round out the lineup. One thing I love so much about this park is sure the coaster lineup is terrific, but it doesn't stop there. The non-coasters range from flat rides, water rides, and even dark rides, and many of them are very interesting. Joker is a world record-breaking attraction. This is the same giant pendulum that you'll find across the Six Flags parks, and these are always great rides. I really enjoy the intensity and airtime, plus the Funhouse queue line was really well done. Daredevil Dive is a Zamperla air race, which is a pretty standard ride for a lot of amusement parks, but per usual, this one has some terrific theming and a captivating presentation. One of my favorite log flumes ever is Bugs' Whitewater Rapids, and I absolutely love this ride. It has 2 great drop sequences, excellent theming, and an amazing atmosphere along the layout. I always wonder why Six Flags doesn't theme more attractions to Looney Tunes, but here we have one of the finest examples of that. What's funny is both days I spent at this park, it was in the winter, and even though I was freezing half the time, I still braved the cold for this thing because it is so much fun. Another unique attraction that I'll shout out is Pirates of the Deep Sea, which is a custom-built dark ride with even more great theming. Can you tell that theming is a reoccurring theme at this park? I have no idea why other Six Flags properties can't learn from Fiesta, Texas, because implementing theming adds so much to the overall guest experience. And in general, you can tell the staff and park management really care about the park. Ride operations are very consistent, the food is great, and I even remember walking by a show while I was here at a Six Flags park. The only common complaint I sometimes hear is that the rides are extremely sensitive to downtime due to the weather conditions and wind inside the quarry wall. I never had this issue, so it isn't deterring my ranking of the park, but it's something to be aware of if you're visiting. I know many parks, including those in the same chain, where inclement weather isn't as much of a big deal. Look at Six Flags Great Adventure, they do not close their rides for rain. But at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, it might be worth planning ahead. The last thing I want to talk about is my experience at their Christmas event, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. The lights made the park look like a fairy tale, and the night rides in 30-degree weather was something I will never forget. Truly, I can't imagine coming to this park and having a bad experience. I'm sure it happens, but compared to other Six Flags parks, there are so few things that can hinder one's experience. That's why, in the end, I'll be giving Six Flags Fiesta Texas a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's very possible that with a return visit, seeing Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger and the new re-theme given to Poltergeist, this score could shoot up to a 10. I have nothing but great things to say about Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and I hope they continue in the direction they've been heading. Of all the amusement parks in Texas, I believe this one is definitely the best. Of all the Six Flags parks, I think this one is contending to be the best as well. The only one that has a fighting chance is Six Flags Magic Mountain due to their absolutely stacked roller coaster lineup, but between you and I, this park might be better. I think about if I put coasters aside, every aspect about Fiesta Texas is superior to Magic Mountain. But that's a topic for another video. Bottom line is, I absolutely love this place, and I'm always looking forward to the next chance I get to visit. So I appreciate you all watching this review video and want to ask, what do you think of Six Flags Fiesta Texas? Is it really as good as I say, or do you think it's overrated? Let me know all of that in the comments. Also, if you could give this video a like and consider subscribing, that would mean the world to me, plus I have many more videos like this one coming in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys.